Ripple is reshaping global finance as traditional financial institutions like banks are struggling to keep up. Ripple has finally made the announcement that their Hidden Road prime brokerage deal, which they acquired for $1.25 billion in the largest acquisition of its kind, is now set to make Ripple the first crypto company to own and operate a global multi-asset prime broker. Not only is this going to reshape finance because they are going to integrate blockchain into this ecosystem, but many are speculating virtually all transactions through this prime broker will eventually be on the XRPL. So we'll be discussing that in this video. And when you combine this massive use case alongside a planned NASDAQ listing under a ticker XRPN, where they plan to not only grow out their DeFi ecosystem, but continue to find creative ways to increase their XRP position, and we have a recipe for the start to a new bull market high. So much so that even in a video, Tecrium CEO mentioned how Ripple is building the new Wall Street with XRP and their acquisition of Hidden Road, which is now called Ripple Prime, and how this is setting the stage for the next leg up as XRP's open interest on Binance, which is the largest exchange that trades futures, has now dropped back down to the same lows we saw in May of 2025 before a massive move to the upside. So we'll be discussing all of this stuff and the price action. We'll be looking at charts, a little bit of on-chain analysis. So by the end of this video, you know exactly what's going to happen next for XRP. And also, if you plan to retire with crypto, you should take advantage of a tax-advantaged account like an IRA or a Roth IRA. Check this video out.
Do you love crypto, but are you worried about taxes shrinking your retirement nest egg? Here's the deal. Trading and selling crypto can trigger capital gains taxes, eating into your wealth. A crypto IRA fixes that. Per IRS publication 590B, traditional IRA gains like those from crypto aren't taxed until distributed. That's why we've partnered with iTrust Capital, a leading crypto IRA company in the USA, to sponsor today's video. And they offer institutional grade custody for retail clients that want to set up their crypto IRAs for retirement, leveraging top storage solutions like Fidelity, Wells Fargo, and Coinbase Prime to keep your assets secure. To get started, simply click the link in the description of this video, sign up for free, and fund your account with cash. They also offer 401k rollovers or crypto transfers, and you can trade 24/7 with just 1% transaction fees and no maintenance costs. As always, I'm not a CPA or financial advisor, so consult one for tax advice, and we do earn a commission if you sign up using our link below to fund your crypto IRA account, but that helps support value-based videos like this. And iTrust Capital already has over 200,000 crypto IRA accounts and over $14 billion in transactions, proving they're trusted by smart investors just like you. So click the link below, get started now by funding your account today, and let's create generational wealth together.
And as always, my friend, if you're feeling blessed and bullish, comment 777. And if you're going to be the wealthiest person in your family tree, smash the subscribe button. Hello and welcome back to the Bull Runners channel. If you're new here, my name is Paul. And first, we're going to start off with this major announcement directly from Ripple and Brad Garlinghouse surrounding their prime brokerage acquisition of Hidden Road, which now is officially integrated and apparently using the XRP ledger and the RLUSD stablecoin, and will be a key functionality inside of the multi-trillion-dollar business model. Here is the CEO, Brad Garlinghouse, sharing more info on what this prime brokerage is and does.
A prime broker is really a one-stop shop that allows all kinds of different asset managers, whether these are well-known hedge funds, trading desks, market makers. It gives them a one-stop shop venue to trade and clear everything from digital assets, derivatives, swaps, all kinds of different assets. And these guys are doing trillions of dollars of trades. Historically, those have been really owned by the traditional commercial banks, the JP Morgans, the Goldman Sachs. Banks now don't do, well, new players like Hidden Road, a company Ripple bought recently, is new to this space, and they're growing very quickly by serving that same market, but also including digital assets as part of the mix. Having a well-capitalized and a super strong balance sheet player like Hidden Road is allowing more institutions to come into these asset classes against a well-capitalized counterparty, and that is prime brokers bringing people into crypto in 1 minute.
And this is massive news because instead of having to spend countless years and many millions of dollars to build out this business model, they went ahead and bought out an already successful business in the space where they can actually integrate XRP and their RLUSD stablecoin. Here we have Michael Arrington from Arrington Capital stating that they are finally onboarded with Hidden Road and how it has a bunch of incredible tools for his business as a hedge fund. Now imagine the amount of hedge funds that are going to want to modernize, and instead of going with some new player, they go with a very established player with a track record in the space using the XRPL. And so the old guard of traditional financial systems is officially dying off, and key acquisitions like this or partnerships are there to support institutional adoption of digital assets. Ripple's foundational digital asset infrastructure across payments, crypto custody, and stablecoin, as well as the use of XRP, is going to complement the services offered within Ripple Prime, which is officially the new name and rebranding of Hidden Road. So they're taking all of their infrastructure and all of their business and essentially integrating the Ripple blockchain. And they state it very clearly here. In the future, Ripple Prime will look to leverage blockchain capabilities in its business to streamline operations and optimize costs. And this is just one of the key 5 major acquisitions by Ripple in the past 2 years. So these guys are very serious, and now they have all of the key pieces in place to truly revolutionize our current financial system. Let's have a listen to how the Tecrium CEO states it.
And I think that store value, and I think that other cryptos, including XRP, have a use case, a legitimate use case. I think XRP's is a wonderful working model. I think that it's only going to get better. They made an acquisition today where I believe they bought a prime broker, and that's really big news because that means there'll be almost instantaneous settlement across all asset classes inside that prime broker. It'll be a wonderful start to the new Wall Street, that's based on blockchain that moves really quickly. No more 3 days for wire transfers. We're gonna have instant money.
And he stated the obvious, or at least what we know and have been talking about on this channel for years, is the fact that now with this integration, there will be almost instantaneous settlement versus how banks used to settle using wire transfers, which explains why banks have been fighting blockchain and crypto so hard through the previous administration and now trying to strangle new regulatory guidelines and bills that Brian Armstrong, CEO of Coinbase, is fighting so hard in Washington to pass. Either way, Wall Street doesn't really care. It's mostly the banks that do. Wall Street will follow the money. And so now there's going to be a new way and a new opportunity for more money to flow into XRP through Evernorth and their NASDAQ listing under the ticker XRPN. Currently, they hold 389 million XRP, and that is set to potentially grow with some key decisions they make surrounding their DeFi ecosystem and how they are going to use these tokens to create incentives for growth. And directly on this news article or press release, it says Evernorth's strategy is designed not only to accumulate XRP as a reserve asset, but also to act as a long-term catalyst for the adoption and institutionalization of the XRP ledger. So virtually everything is in place, and maybe that explains why XRP looks to be like it's bottomed, something that I've actually talked about on the channel. When and if XRP could get back above the price range of 235, and it seems now we are putting in a new higher high with this nice little double bottom, triple bottom type structure, what some might call an inverse head and shoulders. Either way, XRP's open interest on Binance has dropped back to the same lows we saw in May of 2025. Back then, that flush kicked off a massive move from 70 cents to $3.50. And right here on this chart, you can see that open interest declined, the price of XRP bottomed, and then more and more people started taking on some leverage to push XRP up to a new high. Well, we're back down to that current level and the lowest lows we've seen in all of open interest and futures trading, which means we've really seen a reset in the market and a flush out of all of that high leverage, which is very healthy for XRP to start trending to the upside. So that said, it's beginning to explain why the price is looking really good. Currently, we're sitting at 265, and we maintained a long, strong support right here at the 230 to 240 level, currently sitting in new local high territory. As you can see, the trend has officially broke to the upside, and we have our major low right here in terms of an actual close. Then we have our next range low right here, and finally we have a higher high relative to the prior high. So a break right here above 260 is extremely healthy for XRP, and now we're waiting to see what happens at the 272 to 275 range, considering that is going to be a range resistance. Because price was supported here for so long, I don't expect us to break out extremely hard the very first time we touch it. We might see a bit of volatility in this range, but that's a range I'd be watching closely. I wouldn't be adding to shorts, but I would be waiting to see. If you're not currently already in, your risk to reward right here is not that great. Watch it closely here, and if it breaks above, then enter with a small portion of your portfolio in what I like to call a pilot buy, and something that I teach and train on our live Tuesday technical analysis calls for Altcoin Pro. But things are looking really bullish right now, not only with all of the news, but with that strong support we saw just above 245 now. So that said, I'm also looking at the amount of wallet addresses that have between 0 to 100,000 XRP coins, indicating that this trend to the upside, this red line right here alongside all of the green price action of XRP, is trending to the upside. We have more and more addresses for retail investors. Anyone who has anything under 100,000 XRP is typically a retail investor. Anyone who has between 10 million to 100 million XRP is usually an institution, because that is a lot of money in XRP. And we're talking at least 10 million XRP is $26.5 million to $200 million. So yes, you can see that even the amount of wallets containing institutional levels of XRP has consistently been growing since the lows right here back in September and even into the dump. More and more major institutional players have been accumulating XRP, and you can see that we're very close to a new local high and actually an all-time high, indicating strong demand. So when you see both retailers and institutions accumulating off those lows, you see that inverse head and shoulders right here. You're seeing a new local high. Just watch it closely right here. Again, right now is not the best risk to reward trade in this position, but if you've been waiting to accumulate XRP and waiting for that dip and saying, I was a little nervous back here, and you're like, I have a long-term perspective and an outlook into the end of the year, then maybe right now is a good time to enter and just forget about it. Even if it hits a range resistance, comes right back down to retest 250, doesn't really matter. A strong dollar cost average strategy might be the play for you. But for those of you guys who are swing trading XRP, day trading XRP, just watch this $2.75 level closely. And that is it for the video, folks. If you enjoyed it, be sure to subscribe to the channel and also check out altcoinpro.com, and we can virtually guarantee that in 15 minutes or less, once per week, just taking advantage of one of the opportunities that we provide can help you earn more than enough to pay for your membership here, which means everything else is a free ride. We have a ton of members that consistently have been here for the last year, and the reason our retention is so high is probably because they're making more money with this platform of membership than they spend to be in it. So there's a huge benefit, especially if you're looking to become a crypto millionaire through this next cycle or even into the end of the year, depending on the size of your portfolio. We don't guarantee any results, right? All results are going to be individual and dependent on the level of effort you put in and your working capital, but we can guarantee that we are the best platform on planet Earth for the right tools, training, resources, experts, education, you name it, to help you reach your goals. And if you don't agree, then go ahead and ask for a refund within 14 days and we'll give you your refund. Thanks so much for watching the video. Be sure to subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.